One more minute, it's just okay. So it's taking a bit longer. So it's hmm. So in the last day we have seen that how we can create a login page and stuff, right? And before that, we were discussing how the front end system works. So the pages have been getting rendered and they are being shared through the view routers, right? So those were like the basic things. Next thing was the login page that we have seen and that you can see over here. What were we doing? So okay. So we're having three portions right for a page. That was a template thing. Next was a portion where we have the script. So that's I would say the main logic behind how the page works, right? And lastly was the style thing, as the style tag. Now, what I focused for, at least for the bootcamp or at least for the basic portion of the page, was to have a very basic template along with the script to run it. So in here, what we're doing, we're like having a very basic form with a field for a password and a user ID, right? And the next thing that we're doing was using Axios to send a request back along with the user ID and the password that is being provided by the end user to the backend API that is using a post request, right? Within that post request, I'm attaching the user ID and password as a JSON object, right? And we're sending it back. Next thing, over here we are getting a response. Okay, so it's a situation or it's an promise that is made by an API. Whenever a request is being made, it should be the case it is responding me back, be it a good response, be it a bad response, but it should be responding me back, right? Now the thing is that over there that could be two situations, right? Either you are getting a good response that yes, you have provided me a good user ID, like valid user ID and a password, right? So I'm responding you back with whatever it is that it should be. Else what it would be, they get error, right? So if that's an error, what is the error and stuff that is being cast in this catch block. Okay, so the then block represents for if you are getting a good response back from the API, oh, like the HTTP status code status code could be something within the 200 family or in the 300 family, right? If not, if it's in the 400 or 500 family, in that case, it would go to the cache block. Okay. As of now, you can see that I have made the then block, and if I'm getting a good response back, so what am I doing? I'm just like, I was just printing it out on the console. Next thing, I was checking if the HTTP status code was 200 to 201 or not, right? If it is 201, in that case, I'm checking if the API is responding back with the JSON object, because I have configured my backend endpoint to respond with the token, right, along with some other data, but we are getting a JSON object in that response. So what am I doing? I'm just going through that, and I'm storing some details in my local storage. Local storage as in the browser local storage, so that I can use it, right? And as I was saying the other day, I am just repeating it up again. Key to so is to save the details. It's like we are using local storage, but it's not at all secured, right? So again, at least for the purpose of demonstration and for this project, it would be good enough. But if you want to go a bit uh, more deeper, you can like find other ways to do. There are multiple ways, like you can save the token in HTTP only cookies and stuff, right? So you can go through that, and it's your call if you are willing to do that. Right. Next thing, I have stored everything, right? If you can see, along with the key, authentication token, email, username, role, ID as in the user ID, right? I, again, user ID, I'm saying as the primary key. Okay. Over
So
here, the user ID. Uh,
I just have a question, right? So once we
yeah.
save the data in the local storage, right?
Hmm.
So like we are saving the email, username, role, and ID, right?
Right.
Will
Right.
it be visible into the browser?
Yes, it would be visible to the users. Like if the user is trying to like, for example, wait, let me just change my screen. Uh, for example, here's my overall screen, right? Here's the app. Let me just quickly go ahead and show you this key. What I have to do is I need to cd into what? Cd into d5, right? What I should have been in backend. Backend. And let me just quickly, I already have the virtual environment running, or else just to just start viewing, right? And in another terminal, what we be doing is cd into d5, but in the front end directory. How to start the app is npm run dev. Okay, so we are good to go. Next thing, as you were saying, for example, if I give it a try, so see, the backend endpoint or the backend URL is not reached by the user, right? The user will be getting something as a front end URL. Okay. So for example, you are hosting a web app, right? In that case, okay. For example, you are hosting your app, right? In that case, if you are using a domain, for example, myapp.com, okay, in that case, that domain name will be redirecting the request to where? To the front end, right? Now, here's the thing. For example, I'm going to the front end. So the end user will be seeing this page. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, if I give it a try, for example, admin and the password might be admin123. Let me check. So, see, as of now, if you want to check this out, the local storage is empty. There are some dev tools and all, but that's different. That is not saved by me. Like if I give it a try now, log in, and I don't get a response back because there was some error. Okay, what's that? IDM name. Okay. And where is IDM name? Over here. Yes, it's BTD. It should restart. Hmm. This is okay. So it got refreshed again. So admin, admin 123, login. It is not working. Okay, fine. Let's check the backend. Okay, the backend died. Uh, okay, now it's fine. I think now it should work. Let's try login, and here it is. Right. So as of now, you can see that the local storage got uh, populated. Right now, as you are asking, if a user could see those, of course, it's
Hmm.
not secured, right? So if anyone gets the access to this token, so in that case, for example, this is the admin token, right? Admin will be having access to the full app. So in that case, the full app will be leaked to anybody who
Correct.
is having this token. Again, that's the thing. Ki it could be like if a attacker tries to do some stuff. In that case, he can use this token to access not only the backend, not only the front end, but also the backend. Okay. So this is not a secured way to go ahead, but there are multiple other ways, right? So that was what I was saying. So now it's a choice if you want that you have to make, at least for this project or at least for this problem statement. It is, well, at least it can be carry forwarded with. But if you want, you can go for the other ways to do. Like there are multiple n number of ways. Next thing that I was saying is in login page, you can see that I was saving the details over here. Next thing, what we're doing, we are like using a if statement. Okay, in here, I'm checking if the local storage is having or local storage is like is having the authentication token. If the authentication token, in other words, if the authentication token was saved, right? In that case, what am I doing? I'm checking. I'm doing one more check. Okay, what is that? What was the role that was saved in the local storage? If it was admin, then I'm sending it to a different location. If it was, uh, or else, if or in other case, it is going for a different location. So why it's that? So that is because I'm using a single login page. Okay. So for example, you are making your app or you are building your app. Do you want to login page? It's again, it's a personal call to make. If you do not want that, in that case, what you have to do, you cannot be like, okay, so anyone logs in, they land in a single page, and now the admin needs to click on it. Like, just imagine, click on a link and go to their home page, right? That won't that won't be a good scene, right? Else, what can you do? You can like make it dynamic, and how can we make it dynamic? Again, I'm saving the role, and from that role, I can like proceed. Even not doing that, what can I do? I have multiple ways to distinguish that this is an admin user, right? Not only by the role, but by any other mean. For example, the primary key for the user ID. The primary key as in the user ID. Okay, so I can use that, or else I can use an specific. Oh, there are multiple ways. For example, key. I'm having a special access for the admin. For example, for the username in the or in the user ID place over here. If I do log out, yeah, I can give an special access for the admin user, right? In that case, if the criteria is met, in that case, I can distinguish or I can say that this is an admin user. So again, you have to think about that, and there could be multiple ways, but the most simplest way is to do this. I'm saving the role, and from that role, I can make a quick check if it was admin. In that case, go ahead. Right? In terms of security and all, I would say it's not at all secure. Right? For example, if somebody goes and change the local storage or local storage details. In that case, for example, admin 123. Do I have a different user? I guess I have one. Okay, I don't have one. Anyways, let's try with the admin user. Right? The details were saved, but somehow it didn't go. Okay, something is failing. Anyways, I guess it got restarted and so. Yeah.
Anchit, there is one more thing. Can you check
Hmm.
in the day 5 code into the repo? It's not there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mhm. Okay, it got updated.
Thank you.
Chalo, that was saying login, and yeah, somehow it is breaking down. Okay, okay. Somehow the view router was not working, but anyways, for example, as of now it is working, right? I can go to this page because I'm having that admin role. Even I'm not having like I am not doing one more check that I should be doing, but anyways, that's fine. For example, during login, what can I do is one more quick check. That is, this is the login page, right? I can do something like this. So that's the method. Oh, my laptop is heating up. I don't know why. Right. Okay, so that's the method, right? I can do one more thing. Did I show you guys life cycle? Yes, I can show you. Yeah, yeah. Over here, created. So if you remember, so we're having one check, right? If someone is trying to access the home view wall of page, okay, I was doing a quick check. If the page, if the local storage is having the authentication token, in that case only the user will be allowed to see that page. Else he will be restricted, right? Again, it's a rudimentary way that I was following, but it's
Mm.
okay at least for the basic
I
start.
think, Anchit, that there is one thing is missing. We are not checking the role whether the user is
Mhm.
admin or any
Yeah,
other type of,
correct, correct,
right?
correct. We are not checking that. So, for example, let's start off with day 6 from here. It's a good point to do where we are updating our code. Okay. mm, D6, and within that I will have a backend. What a great spelling. Uh, Backend, and within D6 I'm having one more directory, that is front end. And within backend I will just get everything with me. That is starting on. Just copy everything and paste it within backend. And the same goes for front end too. So see, I'm not copying the virtual environment, not even the load module and stuff, right? Why is that so? Because those are unnecessarily huge directories, right? And those can be reconstructed, so no need for that. I just kill the terminals. So okay, kill terminals. Yeah. Now let me just start press so D6. Okay. If I have to do a quick fresh start for the front and back end, what should I do? First, what steps has to be followed?
You need to install all the requirement.
Yeah, create a virtual environment and install it. It's Python 3, but before you see that the terminal is trying to use a virtual environment, so I need to deactivate it. Everything out. Python 3. Giving it to me. And along side by side, let's continue for the front end. The front end is very easy. You just npm install and it's good to go. But over here, we have seen we can see that the virtual environment was created. Next thing, I just activated, right? And I just do pip install, and I have a requirements.txt file right with me over here. So all the libraries are saved along with the version that are needed. So I can run that, and you can see node modules were created. And if I do npm run f, it should be working fine. Okay. Same goes for the backend, but it requires a bit more time. Okay, this looks good. Okay. Now, next thing, what I have to do is run the server, I can have to PY, and it's good to go. I'll just do a quick refresh. Even you can see that it still is allowing me. Again, I think I've shown you that. So it allowed my front end to like go to a different page because of a very weak check that we're doing. But if it tried to communicate with the backend won't be responding because the backend got a different session, right? Why would you say that? Like, it's because whenever you are making a restart, it could be a situation. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's just explain it. In the configuration file, you can see there's a secret key, right? Now the secret key is needed for our token. Okay. So as of now, I am saving the secret key as a string, right? Just for the development. Okay. Why is that so? Because whenever you restart your server, it gets a new session, right? In that case, it checks if the secret key is the same or not. If it's the same, then the previously made tokens will be allowed. Okay. Now this is a bit different because the model, the like the day 6 and day 5 tokens won't work. That's because the backend database is recreated. Okay. So that's a different case. But in other situation, till day 5, if you were like, if our backend was getting killed by any error or something, we're restarting it, right? So getting a new session. In that case, what's happening? I am using a string for the secret key, right? And the string is static. So in that case, the tokens can be reused. But for example, if I am making it dynamic, and again, it's good thing to do to make the secret key dynamic. Every time, whenever the backend restarts, a, a, a hexacode will be generated by the system, and that code will be attached over here, and it should be uh, using that. In that case, the tokens won't be like, if the token survive a longer time, still, if a new session has been created for the backend, the older tokens won't be working. Okay. There are multiple things that one can follow, and there are multiple, like huge n number of things that you might like to add it if you are creating a production ready app. So if I restarted my backend server, but there is a bit one thing that I skipped. That was, if you see, the database was created, but the database didn't had anything. That's because I have shifted the database base creation code into a different file. Okay, that was DB init. So I just run DB in first. Okay, it got populated. Now I will just restart my app. So I can refresh the database and you can see, hello, that's day 4. Okay. One, but this one. Hmm. You can see that the role was added again. Whenever the app is starting for the first time, you should be running DB init. So in that way, the roles were added and the administrator was added along with the role allocation. Next thing, what were we trying? This login bug, the fixes login bug thing. That is, whenever you are checking the page out, I can do one quick check that I was talking about. That is, if I just collapse the method. So whenever the page is getting created, I can do a quick check key if local storage capital S not get item. I can do the same check over here too. Okay. Or else I could call it as a method, and I can call the method like, something like check, because it's an same thing that I'm checking twice. Right? Let's shift it over here. This looks good. And so in here, what will I call? This dot check, right? And the same way over here, this dot check. Um, ta-da-dum, something happened. Unexpected token line 52. Where's line 52? Where is line 52? Oh, this is the left check. Check. And this login. Okay. Extra bracket. This looks good, I guess. No, let's check and login. Okay, just open one more. This is for the method, and this is for created. I need one more. Give me a wait. I'm getting a call. Sorry for the long wait. Okay, so as I was saying that, like I was fixing the belly braces, right? And you can check right now. It's, I guess, fixed. Yeah, it's fixed. One. Okay, no more interruptions. Let me just one second. Okay, so let's give it a try now. You can see it's working fine, right? Now let's do the same thing. So admin 1, 2, 3. If I try to log in and something failed. Okay, it is happening. But before that, just refresh the page. Something happened. Oh, oh. This bug skill is the time that nothing else. That is only 10%. Oh, okay, it's nice instance. I don't know what it is. Admin 1, 2, 3. Let's try to do login. You can see it's taking a bit longer to respond back. What can be done? Yeah, that's fine now. Yeah, it's good. Okay, now you can see that it's working fine. And now if I try to go to login, you will be seeing that the page won't be opening up. Right? Like it gets redirected. Okay, because of that check. Right? Now, the thing was that key every check like the details were saved, the check was made, and in home view I was doing a similar kind of a thing, but in home view I was just doing, I'm just checking the token. Okay. Right. Okay. Sure. So let's put a hold on this, but proceed with the other stuff that are remaining. As of now, you can see that I don't have multiple endpoints, right? So what I will do, I'll just go to a old repository and find some APIs and attach it to this. I do have. Okay, let's get this. Copy. Okay, so two different formats. Over here, what we are doing, we are using blueprint, right? In the route directory. And in the routes directory, we are using Flask RESTful. So the similar format. So I'm just creating a file, naming it as category. Apply. I just paste the code over here. But before I could do that, I have to add the model. Let's do it manually. For that, what can I do is category dot by. Something like this. Okay. Then here I can add some details. Name and description is fine, but if you ask me for any other thing, what can I do? Yeah, like this is at least for the basic stuff. It's okay. Fine. Next thing, what can I do is I just give it a check if everything was fine or not. Like whatever fields that I need. So get all. Okay. Get by ID. That's fine. Name and description we're using. Name and description and the ID. Okay. Fine. So I just add some as a get all and get ID that added. Okay, fine. Create, update, delete. So you can see. So this is a very basic HTML. HTML. What is this? Uh, Model class, right? So over here, we can see a Reaper method, two dictionary method. That's to that I can use it as a uh, method that we can use it to get the data into a correct format, right? Next thing, I have a method that is get all. Okay, so get all, what it does, it makes a query to the table and it gets all the rows in that table, right? Next thing is get by ID. Again, the similar idea with an ID.
One
Yeah,
question, like, why you putting this at their static attribute over there? Static
you
method.
can you can go through it, but if you want, you can have that else. Like there is static method, there is class method, and else if you do not add that, it's also fine. Okay, at least for the basic implementation. I just remove it to let it a bit more simple. Let's keep it clean. Okay. Create, update, and delete. Okay. Like I can ask you guys to go through it. So there is static method, there is class method, and that's and whatever that we are using right now. Okay, go through it, find it how it is working and why do we need that, and have a try on that. Hmm. So so there are five methods for me. Get all, like two get method, one create, one update, and one delete. Right. Chalo. And for example, what I have to do, I have to define the endpoints, right, for this. So in here, I do have update category and get category. So get category works for post and get. Acha. This may or may not work. So let's give it a try. Oh, we are not using get all. That's that. So let's add that. So what am I saying? The I have get category. Oh, okay. And what is the other information? Acha. Did it show that one endpoint can have one class could have two different endpoints, right? Let's use the same idea for category. Okay, I do have get category and stuff, but I do not want to use that. Okay. In here, I just want to mention the class as category, nothing else. Category API, for example. Okay. So there is post, put, and delete. Fine. I have to make the get requests. Get okay, authentication token. Get fine. If I'm passing the ID, in that case, it will do like that. Like if ID is there, then I will be getting by ID, else get all. Fine. And I have to meet the endpoint for that. Some category. And this works. What the heck is this? Okay. Let's give it a try from Postman and check if it should. I hope it should work, but let's give it a try. Wait, let me just check the also API category. Okay. So local host 5,000 sample install sample it should be category. If I do a get request, you will be seeing that I need a token. Okay, I'll just remove the token for now, just to make the check happen. So just comment this down, save it, restarting the buffer server, and give it a retry. Okay. Now at least it is allowing me, but it's saying that there is no such category, like no such table and all. That is because I didn't update the database, right? So I just do db init and restart my app. And now if I give it a try, you'll be seeing something. At least no categories were found. Okay. Hmm. So no categories were found. And for example, if I add a ID to it, even it says no categories found, but I have to fix that up. But anyways, if I do a post request, what I have to do is I just need to change the and I still need the tokens. So okay, I'm just for the sake of quick demonstration, I will just comment everything down. At least the checks, right? But anytime we can like you have seen how we can make that possible. Okay? I'm not in the mood for creating the token. So if it is a post request, I just go to draw, add a JSON object over here, and it should be a name, for example, fruits. Description. Description could be the best one. Can find in market. Okay, something like this, and let's send it. So if I go to draw, category created successfully, right? Now, if I do a get request, you will be seeing that yes, it is there. If I'm not sharing an ID, right? For example, if I add an ID and send a request, you'll be seeing that I am getting a single JSON object, but it was an array. Like whenever I remove one, it's an array. Okay, you can check that out. Okay, multiple JSON objects, but as of now, I have only one. Okay, I can update it. So just to update it, I just need to add it, add it to put, and I need to add the ID. So the ID is one. If the ID is one, I want to change the uh, like make the word capital. Okay, let's start with capital. Send the request, and it says category updated successfully. And if I do a get again, you'll be seeing that yes, the change was made. Okay, and similarly, I can do delete. Right, I can add an ID and it will be deleted. Or if, for example, if I don't have, like for example, I don't have a second row, right? And if I give it a try, it says some unwanted error occur and all. Okay. Now here's the thing. For example, if from the front end, I have to do the same thing. Okay. So the backend API is me, and if I want to add a page for the front end, what can I do? I can add a view over here. For example, categories, or let's do one thing. In home view, I was doing that fetch all samples, right? Let's change it. Fetch all categories. Okay. And in here, what am I doing? I'm just changing it to category. Okay. Authorization, I can add that. So if I can use that, so you just uncomment everything down. Right. And we are good to go. Right. We are keeping get to be open to all. Okay. For that, I'm not using any role, but you can use a role that something like roles accepted is both admin and user, but delete, update, and create is only allowed for admin. Right. Now in home view, what am I doing? I'm just adding authorization and all. Every other thing is okay. It's good to go. Like it's good to go as in like at least in terms of configuration that I didn't make any change. Okay. I added a new API. I added its logic. I added its backend. Sorry, the database stuff, and we are good to go. Right? In other words, how I would be setting up an API is not changed, right? But a newer API is added, right? Let us give it a try. For example, let's just go to the page, okay. Refresh the page, and it's not showing anything. That's fine. No worries to that. But if you see, a request was made, category, and the request was completed over here. Okay, I got this. I'm getting the details, but it's not being shown in the page, right? If I need to do that, what I have to do is not data found it front. Oh, I didn't do a else part. Oh, that's sad. This is description. Okay, say this, and if I refresh the page again, a request will be made, but I don't see anything. Okay. Oh, I don't have data status, I guess, for example. Data status. Okay. Okay, I just remove this. For now, just for now. Okay, again, revert it back. Hmm. Okay, why is the table not getting populated? Let's check. The data is stored in data. Okay, and it is. Oh, it is not getting stored. Aha. What am I doing? Fine. Now it should work. Yeah. Now it is working fine. I add a description, and you can see that it's working great in my words. So if I zoom in a bit, you can see that there's ID, there's name, and there's description. Right. So this is how we want to go forward. But before we do that, I'll be adding one more thing. That is, for example, what all APIs do I have? I have delete, update, and create, and get, right? So get is being done. What all are being needed to create, to update, and to delete? Okay. So for that, what we'll be doing is adding one more TD as actions. Okay. In here, I would be having two more buttons. That is, one is edit, another one is delete. Okay, something like this. Edit and delete. Okay. So what do we want, or what do we expect? If I click on delete, in that case, it should delete this, right? If I want to update, it should be showing me somehow a field so that it can be updated. Right. Now, how can I do it? So for delete, I can just send an API request or API call and it will be deleted, right? So what can I do is I can create a method over here. So if I could find that, yeah. Delete category. Okay. Here's the header. Okay. ID. What was the status code that I was using? Uh, if it was made successful, then I'm using it as 201. So I just go ahead and change it to 201, and if that happens, in that case, I just re-update the categories. Save this, and something happened. If statement is there, then is there. Let's delete header ID. If statement. Hmm, I guess I need one more bracket. No, it's fine. Hmm. Now let's give it a try. If I want to delete it, it should be sending a request back to the backend, and it should be deleted. Is it working? I guess no, not working. Let's see why. Access delete. Okay, it is not working because I haven't attached the button, right? I didn't add it to the button. So in here, what I say, add click, it should be triggering this method. And to trigger this method, it requires a parameter to be passed. The parameter is item.id. Okay. Refresh the page. And if I click on delete, it's still not working. Chalo, koi baat nahi. Acha, 415. 415, that means some error happened. Okay. 415, 415, 415. Did I do 415? No. What was 415? I forgot. Unsupported media type. Okay. So in delete, what are we doing? Okay. Over here. Let me just shift it before header. Save this. Refresh the page again, and let's give it a try again. It is now okay. It is now saying 401. That is okay, but was the token not added? Let's check. So if I click delete, you can see request was made. But in the header part, it says that it is not having the authorization token. Oh. So the header is failing. Okay, that's not working. Let's change it. I am not sending a JSON object for delete. Let me just send it as a path parameter. Save this. I'm just going to do a quick change over here. Category delete ID. Okay. ID, if I'm doing ID in that case, this all are getting changed. What the heck I'm doing? Done. Plain and simple. Back and forth restarted. Yes, it is. Okay. Give it a try now. Yeah, this works. Send a request and you can see something happen. Okay. Delete happened. but it didn't get updated. That is fine. That is because I added it as 200. Okay. If I refresh it, you can see the data is gone. Okay. So now this works. No data found. If the condition is no data found, in that case, I would be adding a button, right? To create a entry. Now for that, there are multiple ways. I will just select the most basic rudimentary way to do. That is over here. Instead of showing the data status was not found, I can have a button over here. Button, and that button could be like add a category. Okay. And what it does is add a add, fine. It says add category. And what is add category? I'll just create a method over here. So after delete add category. Fine. So what add category does? Add category redirects to a different page. As of now, I don't have one, so I just create one. View. So template, very basic thing, right? Oh, 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 oh. Fine. Basic checks. I have a description where added, and this is how we are going through. Okay. If everything was going fine, in that case, what will I do? I just go ahead and redirect to the home page. Array, yeah, hold on. Save this. And I added the page. I next thing that I have to do, I have to add a route for this page, right? So just come down over here and add a path. um, Add category. Just use this name over here that is in home. Correct. Let's give it a try. So this is add category. If I refresh the page once, add category, I got redirected, right? It is showing me category name only, but I have to get the description too. Right. Now, for example, let's add fruits again. Fruits, best one. Yeah. If I click submit, it send a request back, but until unless I am doing submit category. Okay, looks good. Let's check the backend, and I didn't get a post request. Okay, so the submit button didn't work. That is fine. Give it a refresh. What's the time? 10:24. It's already an hour. Mm. Submit is not fun. That's it. Add click. Submit should work. What the heck? Yeah, guys. Let me know it's but I'm not working. Some ideas. I cannot see a bug over here. But if you guys have spot, that's the only reason. Token is not very stupid. Token is not that token. Oh, someday I will go mad. And now it is. So there was the most serious bit. That was over there, we were like trying to add token, right? And because of the scope, it was not going outside of this method. So it was not checking out the globally. So whenever I add this, I check globally and the token was like what to say, like nothing to say. So now that it is working fine. For example, if I want to edit it, what can I do? I can just reuse the template. So update the name. That is- Now here's the thing. Uh, there are some tricks that I want to edit. That is so edit name edit could both could be edited. Or else, for example, allow let's check that what are we doing at the we are allowing both name and description. That's fine. That's fine. Let's use them. Edit. Name and description is the okay. Most of the things stays same. Right? Change. Okay. This thing is to happen. And we don't get this. Oops. I just need to add an icon for example. That icon. Now, here's the thing. Post what where will they're just taking a name and description and it's going to pass right because it's always adding a new entry right but for update and for delete we need the ID to be passed. Now here's the thing. For delete what we're doing we check over it was very simple like I was adding it as a method right.
Yeah. Anchit, your voice is not clear. It's blurring out.
Oh, what about now?
It's
Hello,
it's same.
same. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better.
So in here for delete, we're just having it as a path parameter, right? But for ID, but for update, the ID needs to be passed. That is one thing. But the next thing is that it's getting redirected to a different page altogether. Okay, so here's edit. So as of now, I will make a new change, but somehow I need to pass the ID, right? So what is to be done? Let's go to router. In here, I can use a similar idea. Okay, so the path will be edit category and ID. In this way, I can do it. Right? I'm making this front end path to be dynamic. That works. Right? But the thing is that this is one way. Another way could be using props as well. Or okay, let's keep it simple and let's follow this. Okay. So edit. Now, whenever we are redirecting to edit from home view, anything fix the button. Right. So this button works like this. Edit category. So there's a I create a method and the method will be getting the item ID. Now here's the thing. How that method will be different. As an parameter. And this is how we'll be doing it. Just a, yeah, only ID. Okay, star or scrap it. So it seems different, right? Select this. And let's get it. As is on the page got review. First. If I click edit, somehow you can see the address is getting changed to slash edit category slash one. And that somehow, how that somehow is working, that is because of viewer. Viewer after also accepts parameter one or one. As of now, you can see that I have landed into this page edit category. There is one more thing. For example, you are having a situation where you want to update any details of yours from any app, for example. Now, do you want the like, or in general, if you have noticed, whenever you are going to that edit all that thing, you'll be seeing the older data. Okay, whatever current data it is, okay, like not in case of password, but in other stuff. Okay. And what you can do, you can just remove the field or like delete the clear out the field and repopulate it okay, with whatever expected details or whatever you want to live. Okay. Now the same thing can be achieved. हेलो सर एक मीटिंग में हूँ मैं सर आपको फोन करता हूँ कुछ देर में चलेगा so what am I saying instead of not only showing it as empty what I want to show it as fruits okay now I can update it from here but like I can update it something like this for example I want to add the name as exotic fruits exotic I want to do this so should I fill everything up no like it is again it's a choice that you want to make as in a developer so what am I saying I want to have the fields pre-populated with the available details right so one could say that you already have that into the in the home page why don't you just send it there but what I say is that let's not use that idea rather considering our scale like our apps scale is very small so in that case what am I doing an edit category I would just add one more method that is get category details You can like infer from this what am I trying to do. That is, I'm just sending a request, okay, back along with the ID that was being transferred to me, right? And that transfer is not happening because I'm not handling that. Okay? So category ID is empty, and whenever the data is created, so what am I doing? I'm just updating the level. Yeah. So what I'm saying, I'm just filling the ID, right? So it's so get category details. So get category details. So send a get request and have the fields, like get the fields and get the details and fill in the fields, right? And how is that working? So whenever the page is getting created, the update, edit page. Okay. First thing, it is checking if the token is there. If the token is there, then it's proceeding for the category ID. The category ID is added from the route parameter, right? And we are calling this. Let's give it a try. Okay, it's already visible. You can see if I refresh the page after a slight delay, the fields are getting populated. Okay. Let's change it to exotic. Submit. Same thing, it's not working. That is because put 404 put ID. I am not adding the ID. पता नहीं मैं भी सुबह देख रहा था नहीं है आपको खोलना तो नहीं मैं so I need to add the ID. So ID. Considering this this will be reflected because it is a request. Let's refresh the page and let's include submit and select this. So there's submit and it is working. Okay. So that is because how we set up the HTTP status code. We are sending it as 200, but we are expecting to not one. Now it is good. So you can see the change did happen. Okay. If I change it to something different, for example, exotic group changes to paneer, submit, and it is working. Right? So this is how we will be proceeding again. So what I say I do have as of now, I have not covered everything, but at least for the basic stuff. Okay. From here, you can add your own efforts to your project and you can pull in pull out whatever that would be the best thing for your project from the internet or from other sources. Get some ideas, right? But at least with this skills, I can say that the front end could be made as basic front end one could make. From here, it's possible. But from this, at least for the front end, no more thing I think as of now is left. If anything is left, I will just add the resource later on. But as of now, let's spend like almost have 45 minutes more. We'll be I'll be having a 5 minutes break, and after 5 minutes, I will be sparing the 40 minutes for the backend job and yes. Now for that, if you guys are willing to go through, like even if you want, you can take a break, or else you can just go ahead and do have install lists. One is Redis. I'll just add a list right here. So I need Redis server, right? And if you want to go for Redis server, you can go for Redis Insight, right? I need Celery to be installed. Celery is right. See, Redis server, like if you are on Linux, just check that out, or just go to the internet. So basically, for Redis server, it's an sudo apt install. Okay, it's a package. Sudo apt install Redis. So Celery is a Python package, so it's like install Celery. I need a SMTP server. Can be anything. Then go for mail now. Okay. You will find the GitHub repository. Just check that out. And this is all what you need. Let me just take it 3 minutes break and we'll just rejoin by 50.
Your voice is very low, Anchit. Still lower. Yes. Anchit, your voice is very low. Not able to hear you. Yeah, it is fine.
That is a SMTP server. So what all? I will just go through the list, right? For example, if I do history, so what all things? I installed Celery, I installed Flask Mail, Flask Cast, four things as of now. Sorry, three things as of now as a Python package, and apart from that, I have a Redis server. Okay. Now here's the thing: for caching, if you go to the problem states, what you have to do, you can cache like what, like for example, what caching is. Caching is like if you have gone to the theory course and if you could remember those, it's like saving a copy for a response. For example, as of now, I have category, right? And in the category, I only have one single category. For example, if I want to have one more category, right? Now, think of a situation where I am having two categories. Now, consider again a situation where you want to like you do not want or for example in general we are not updating the category very frequently. Okay, so in that case what can we do? We can cache the get all wala endpoint. Okay, so what get all wala endpoint doing for category? So that is like going ahead, like whenever a request is made to the backend endpoint, so it is going ahead, checking the database, compiling everything up, formatting it in a correct format, and sending it back as a response, right? So this is what all the stuff that is being done. Now, here's the thing. It uses some resource, not only for the backend, but also for the database, right? Now, let's add something to the situation. Okay? So the category is not getting up, as I was saying, the category is not getting updated very frequently. Okay, and you are getting multiple requests. Okay, for example, in your app, we are following that grocery store wala uh, idea, right? So in that, what where we do? We're like if any users comes to our app, they can like go ahead and check what all categories do we have. Now, let's make the situation something as we are saying that the category is not getting updated very frequently. So we only have two categories as of now, or for example, one category as of now. Right? And for example, one user is trying to access that. Okay, so a request is being made, all the processing is being done, and the resource is being shared out. Okay, now let's add more users to it. Let's add 100 users, or for example, 1,000 users. So whenever 1,000 users request the same thing, okay, for example, in a very short span of time. So what it does, for example, 1,000 requests comes in. So for all 1,000, my app or my API has to work for, right? And the same work is done multiple times, 1,000 times. Okay. Now, what do you think? Will that be a good option to go for? It is not only using the resource from my backend, but also pulling out or using the database, right? So it's an unnecessary thing considering the situation where the category is not updating very frequently. So in that case, same data is being compiled n number of times, thousand number of times, and being shared out, right? So for that, what you can do, you can cache the data, right? As in cache the data, as in cache the response. Considering my data is like considering my categories is not getting updated very frequently. So the same response would be shared out to 1,000 users. So think of the situation. The first request comes in, okay? The API does its work, all the work, be uh, going to the database, getting the categories, compiling it into a correct format, and sending it out. Okay, this is the whole process. And for the next 999 times, the same request will be generated. So what I can do, I can cache the data from the first request. Okay, So this is the JSON object that is being shared out, or this is the total response that is being shared out from this API. That is, for example, if I go to the category, okay, and this is the get, okay, and in here. So in this situation, what will you be, or what caching will, or how caching will be helping? For example, in this return statement, we are returning out the category, like the JSON object along with the status code, right? This time everything happened, and for the next 999 times, the data, like the response is being cached, and the same response could be shared to the next 999 users. In that situation, the API is not going through compiling everything up, not even like using the database or striking the database, but sending the response back. Okay, so it stresses the server less. It is like not using the resource for our backend. Sorry, the database. Okay, the database is free because a query is not made for 999 times. Okay, these all are the benefits that you can go for. If you ask me for a cash situation, if you have any time used that, if you remember previously, we used to, whenever Amazon or Flipkart uh, had that, like I guess it was something 8 or 9 years back, whenever they introduced themselves for the first time in the Indian market, they had that flash sale, right? What were those? Those were like some smartphone or something like that. Whenever it's being launched on that day, it's like available for at a specific time, right? And it could be something like thousand, for example, thousand pieces of that smartphone were available. So in that situation, whenever you go to that page, either the page, because of the server stress, the page was not accessible, or if the page was accessible, it could be showing you like that it's the phone is available. Okay. Now what you will do, you will just go and click, like if you have experienced that, we used to click on buy now or something, and whenever we click on buy now, we were redirected to the next page, right? Either in the payment page or something. In that situation, multiple time and multiple user face the scenario where it's being shown that it is not available right now. But whenever in the product page it was available, that was because the product page was cached for a very short span of time, but it was cached. For example, right now we took an example for 1,000 users only. Like multiply with it with 100 times. Okay, 1 lakh user is coming to your app and checking the same thing. In that scenario, you can cache it for something like half a second. Okay, and it's like in half a second you could be getting something like 50,000 click, like, clicks. Okay, in that scenario, the cache data is being shared out. On the product page, it is being shown that it's available. But whenever you are going, or whenever you used to click buy now, it has to be do like in the buy now page, it has to get the current data. Okay, it cannot be like cache data that yes, okay, we take your payment and later on we inform you that yes, so sorry, the phone was not available. That couldn't be the situation, right? So over there, a cache data could be used, or was used. Or for example, you can take another example. That is, for example, if you have ever traveled with Indian Railways, you can, I guess you have heard about a quota that is named as Tatkal. Okay. Over there too, we face a similar situation. Okay. For example, if you are checking a very busy train, there could be a situation where the tickets may or may not be available in the uh, like in the current availability page or the availability page. Okay, over there you might see that yes, the tickets are available, but whenever you go and click for buy now or something, or reserve now or something, you'll be redirected to the next page. Over there you can see that the status is getting changed very drastically. So it's not that key whenever you click and it's getting changed, but the data was cached for a very small amount of time. Okay, and within that time frame, some other people might have came down and they have booked the ticket, and the ticket is gone. So over there, it could be another example that you can take. Okay. So again, as per the scale of our app, we don't need caching as a uh, big thing, but as the problem statements or the team wants you to implement that, we have to showcase it. Okay, some like in some API, at least in one API, we have to showcase that. Now, how we can add that is using the library that is Flask caching. Now, Flask caching, if you go to the documentation, you can check that out. Flask caching. The cache data can be saved in n number of ways. It could be saved as document. It could be saved within Redis. You can see simple cache, then file system cache, Redis cache, okay, memory cache. There are multiple ways to do. But the prompt statement specifically mentions that you have to use Redis cache, okay, the Redis server as to as in the work as a data store for your cache data. So we'll be doing. As of now, you can see Redis server is working fine. I already have Flask caching with me. Next thing, what will I do is I will just add it. Now to add it, one thing could be done. Do I have a utils directory? No, I don't have a utils directory. Let's go in the app. Okay. Let's create a page, create a file. Name it as caching, caching.py. Adding that file. In here, what am I doing? From Flask caching, import cache. Okay. Declaring out a variable, very basic variable, c is cache. And in here, I'm just calling the other. Now, the implementation is not done as of now, but what I have to do is from caching import cache and yeah, init app. Now, here's something more that I have to add. That is in configuration. I have to add some configurations. So you can check the configurations out from here, from this table. First thing, I have to set the cache type. Cache type has to set as Redis cache. Next thing, as we are using the Redis cache, so somehow my server needs to communicate with the Redis server, okay, to save the data. Now, what I was saying, if you check the terminal out, we can communicate with the Redis server with the local host and the port ID. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to add it like this: the cache Redis host. It's running within our local system, and cache Redis port, that is 6379. It's a default one. Now here's the thing. Let me add one more thing, that is cache key prefix. We'll be seeing that. Browser speed. Added some more configurations, and I will just go ahead and restart my backend to see if everything is working fine now. Okay. Module not, no module. I'm fine. Install. Okay, there is one more thing that I have to do is install Redis. So there's two things. One is a Redis server that is running within your system, and to communicate with it, so the logic stays within a Python package that is Redis. Okay. So the configuration is made, and if I restart the server, you can see that it is starting fine right now. It's good to go. So before we cache, I already have Redis inside with me. So So I can just open it out just to visualize. Okay, nothing more. Okay, within Redis inside, what you can do just to visualize is add a Redis database. Okay, you can go for everything with a default one. Nothing needs to be changed. And or else you can go for the connection settings. Just change the name to grocery app. Grocery app. September. Okay. Everything else stays same. Local host as in either you can keep the local host to be 27 and 127.0.0.1 or else it's local host or else that 0.0.0.0 like 4 times 0 and every other thing that could be representing local host. Okay. And the port ID, let's keep the port ID to be the default one, that is 6379, because we already have that running in our system, that is over here. You can see the port ID is 6379. Okay. 6379 stays same, username, password, we do not need anything. Okay. And every other thing could stay same. But if you want, you can go through it, go through the options, dig deeper and find more useful features that you can have. Okay. But I'm keeping it as simple as it could be. And I click add a reserve. Okay. Every same newer entry over here, you can click that. Now, here's the thing. As of now, you can see it's empty. Not only on the left side, but in the right side too. There is one more thing. You can see over here, it says DB0. Now, it can be something like I can have in a single instance of Redis server, I can have multiple databases. Okay. So what I can do is, for example, the cache data I want to save it in DB0. What is that? That is cache Redis D. Either you can specify or else it will be, in general, it is being considered as 0. Okay, by default. So default is 0. Save this. I guess the app got restarted or else the app. Wait. Restarted. Now here's the thing. You can keep it 0. And as of now, I don't have anything. Okay. Now, what I will do, I want to cast that get all color thing. So for that, I'll just go to category.file. In this file, from casting import cast. Okay. And on top of this get, after roles are verified, I would add this cast. Okay, so I added in a single one. So I have to keep the query string to be true. That is because I'm having both gets, like get all or get by ID, into a same endpoint. For that, I have to keep it true. That is because, for example, if you are querying out a specific get, like specific category, in that case it would work fine, right? Because I'm passing that query. Okay. So here's the thing. So it's a decorator cast, right? You can check it out from the documentation. इधर गया. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Cast. What I say, I cannot spare more time on this, but it's better for you to go through the documentation. Now, here is a simple implementation. As of now, it's been done, and the backend is restarted. And if I refresh the Redis database, you'll see nothing is there as of now. So what am I saying? Consider the example. 1,000 requests, first one is being processed, next 999 is being saved out. Okay, it's being saved along with the cache data. Okay. Let's okay. There is one more thing. The cache data cannot stay for eternity. Else, it should be for a very smaller time. Considering if you are building a huge scale project, in that case, you can expect per minute 1,000 or more clicks for a same page, okay, or for a same API, or getting a request for the same API. In that case, you can cache the data for either a minute or something. Again, it's a discussion that has to be made by the developer. I am keeping it very less, something like 20 seconds, just to demonstrate that yes, it is working fine. So the backend got started. Now the next thing that I have to do is from the front end side. If I refresh this page, what does it do? The front end sends a request back to the backend API, and the backend API does it work and respond back, right? So the same thing will be visible. Okay, I will just refresh the page. You can see I got the data back. Now I just go to the Redis database and you can refresh that, and you can see it says grocery store, an API and whatever and whatnot. But finally, I am having something. Okay, it's not being compiled in a correct way, but you can see there's name, there's paneer, there's description, and there's what the description that I have. Okay, wait a second. Now let's do a quick check. Okay. If I refresh it again, it's gone. What does it represent? It represents that the cache data did survive for only 20 seconds. After 20 seconds, the cache data died. Okay. So whenever a next request comes in, the API has to work, okay, and share the data. Else, if a second request comes in within that 20 seconds, in that case, the same data will be shared. Okay. Now, for example, I will be very quick. Okay. I will just refresh the page, go to data, Redis database, the data is being cast. Okay, Paneer is getting changed to new. Okay, Paneer new, submit, and you will see that Paneer is still there. Okay. Until and unless you can see that there is two. That one is the category that was queried with the ID as in the path parameter that is being saved as a different one, and the get all color thing. Okay. Now, if I refresh it again, you will see paneer new did arrive. Okay. Now the paneer new wala thing is being cast. Okay. You can see it over there. If I update it, for example, from paneer new to paneer, save it, and you can see it still is paneer. Okay. The requests are coming in. Okay, again, the refreshing the page. Okay. Requests are coming in, and if it is within that 20 seconds, it was still the same paneer new. So this is how the caching is being done. If you want, you can add the cache data to be deleted whenever I update the field. Like if I do edit, in that case you can like manually delete the data. Okay, and like the cache data will be deleted, and whenever the next request comes in, the data is being cached for the newer version with the newer version. Or else, this can be one like this is one way, and that could be one advanced way that you can opt for. Right? So that is caching. Caching doesn't require much. Next thing is the backend job. What's the time? It's 21. Spare me some more time, some 10 15 minutes more. I won't be requiring anything more than that. So let's do the backend job. Now for the backend job, what I have to do, let me just update the manuals.txt. Now the next thing is pip install celery
class mail and salary class. Yeah, this is fine. Salary and class mail. Two more libraries. Okay. Now, let's take a different example. Just to help you guys visualize how salary works or what's the job for salary. Salary not only is a back-end job scheduler. Okay, I did follow it. Okay. It is not only a back-end job for a thing, but it can schedule itself automatically. Okay. Consider a situation or consider an example. The other night, that was yesterday, if you have an if you had an app as something like Swiggy or Zomato or even something like Uber or Rapido, okay, you may or may not be getting notifications. Or for example, let's keep it simple, you are getting notifications. Okay. Consider this. A Rapido for Rapido or for Uber, you can get a notification something around in the morning that okay, please use our app. We can take you to your office or take you to any location. Okay, one notification could be that during the lunchtime you might have gotten a notification from Swiggy that we have some offers and uh, you have some offer. You can get your lunch from us, or it could be something like we are like missing you. Some attractive notifications. In general, we get from Swiggy and Zomato. Right? So how are those notifications sent? Those were scheduled, right? No one in the backend does it manually. Okay. So one idea could be okay. I'm not saying that the same idea is being implemented for their scale too or for their app, but a similar implementation. Okay. The same thing we'll be doing with salary. If you go to the prompt statement, with salary, we have to do three jobs. Okay. One is daily reminder, second one is monthly reminder, and third one is user triggered async job. Okay. Now what is this? First two are similar to the notifications. Okay. For the daily reminder, you will be sending a notification back to your user on a daily basis, and for the monthly reminder on a monthly basis. Okay. Now here's the thing. You have to use a scheduler from salary side to schedule a job. And what that job will do is it will just send some notification back to the user. Be, be the daily reminder that you didn't visit our app. Okay, something like that. Okay. Please visit us. Or for monthly reminder, we are sending a report back in the previous month, how much we have used our app and something like that. Okay. So those were the notifications and those were auto scheduled. Okay. At a specific point of time, the notifications would be sent out. Next thing or the last thing was user triggered async job. What was that? You might have seen that situation. You might have seen the situation where mm, you might have visited some website or something, and from there you might be downloading. For example, we can take an example from it. Uh, for example, Redis Insight. Redis Insight. If you download Redis Insight, just search for that. Uh, Redis Insight. Go to downloads. Okay. Consider this feature. Redis Insight. I do have to fill in some fields. Okay. Now, I will just take an quick detour from that. If you are using Redis Insight, what you can do if you are on WSL, in that case, you can install Redis Insight still within your Windows system within your Windows OS, and you can have Redis server within your Linux OS. And how that works, that is because Redis server works through your local host, and local host can be communicated within your system from any place. Okay, so that's the thing. If you are going to install Redis, others will get skip it. That's fine. Four. Okay. Now, if I click on download, what happens? Let's see. If I click download, it says sit tight and all, and I got redirected to some other page. Okay. Now, if I cancel this, right, and if I check this out, so it's like saying what? Thank you for downloading Redis Insight and all. Okay. But if you check more links, you'll be seeing or okay. The demonstration, like I cannot demonstrate it with this. But if you have downloaded anything from any website or anything, it could be a situation where you will be getting a download page and it says that your download will be starting in a short, in a bit or something. Okay, how is that possible? How is that being made? That is made with something in a similar idea as in a salary, like a user ticket async job. Okay. Consider the situation again, the similar situation like a thousand requests comes in. So what do you want? Do you want your API to send you like the download API to uh, send data to every user? You want that, right? Now think about a situation where you are having a bottleneck of your system that I can serve 100 users at a time, at a moment. Okay. What will happen for the next 900 users? They will be seeing a screen where it is being shown as some error happened or some error occurred or something like that, and it got failed. Okay. Do you want the situation? Do you want that 900 or 90% of your requests will be seeing a screen where they will be seeing a error? No, right? But what do you want? You want that all users will be getting served, like all users can download, right? All thousand users. But what you can do, you can set it as a batch job. Okay. Something like, for example, at a moment, 1,000 requests comes in. So 1,000 people has to download. What you can do, you can process it in a batch of 10. First 100 will be served at that point of time. After that is done, after the first request is or the first download is being completed, 101 will be carry forwarded. Okay, and this process goes on. So we can show you a screen that your download will be starting in a bit. Okay, so what happens? Your end user sees that okay, it requires some time. I can wait. The download will be starting in a bit. Okay, but in the backend or in terms of your app, what you are doing in your backend? See, okay, I am serving 100 users at a time. Okay, that is how we will be doing that. So we will be scheduling our job whenever the earlier 100 are being processed. After that, we will be processing from the next, or we will be processing the next batch. Okay. So with that situation, every user will be served and no one will be seeing an error. Even your system won't be failing. Okay, because of the bottleneck. Something like that. If I could have explained it that way. So I'll just show you the implementation very quickly. Like it's already 11:30, so good. Very good. So let's have a file like celery. The name could be celery. Or for example, over.py. So in here, from celery, and we imported celery from app, and we imported create a column method and create a app instance over here. Okay, similar to app.py, like how we used it in line number 30.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Me. Okay. So next thing will be celery, celery, and we will be passing it in this way. Uh, app name. One sec. I need to check the configuration. Let's do it in this way. So define make celery. Within it, it's like this key. I'm declaring a variable celery, and within the celery variable, I'm calling the celery method. Okay. After that, I'm using app.name. What's how that app.name will be coming down? That is from the Flask server. Okay. And this is backend URI. Let's skip this part, and let me add some like I will be adding some configuration. Over it. So it add a different class, for example. Oh, in here. Celery broker URL and celery result backend. Now, the situation is that from the problem statement, you have to use as in a backend support, like database support for celery as Redis again. Okay. Now the implementation says that Redis server is running within your local system. It's running on port ID 6379, and you can use a different database. For example, for broker, I'm using DB1, and for results, I'm using DB2. Just, like you can use a single database too, but just for seeing it separately. Okay, nothing else. And to communicate with the Redis server, we'll be using the Redis protocol. Okay, so those are the two things: salary broker URL and salary result packet. And there is one more thing: salary time zone. Okay, see, you can ask that. He, do I need to do this? I am setting it as Asia Kolkata. Just to like, if you are doing it for the first time, else, as per the industry standards, it's always recommended to follow UTC time zone. But what am I doing? Like, if you for daily reminder and monthly reminder, we'll be like using local ST time zone. So how can do we do that? Is I'm going back to salary worker. Over here, I will be downloading. Okay, that could be a situation. Okay, I'm changing the configuration a bit. Salary config, keeping it separate. Nothing much. Going back to worker, and from config, I'm importing salary config. Okay. Okay. This is how I'm adding the configurations to salary. Next thing I did, let me comment this. I will demonstrate this in a later stage. But in here, I can call it over here. The I can use the same variable salary. I'm calling this method into it, that is make salary. Makes makes So my mouse stopped working somehow. Like the major button that I need is not working. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can make it work. So, so as of now, this is the situation. This is how we'll be like creating salary. Okay, uh, initializing salary. So how we can do it is, for example, in this terminal, in the first terminal, we're running the Python server, or in the backend server. In the second terminal, we are running the front end server. Third terminal, we can run the Redis server, or else in the Redis server can work in the background. Okay. Else, what you can do is, कैसे जाऊं? go for a newer terminal. In this terminal, what you have to do, or what you have to do is, see, this is a environment. Okay, deactivate. Now, seeding into day 6 back, and just activate the terminal. Look, correct terminal. Okay. In here, what you have to do is just write this command: celery. A. Next thing is the file name. Where do I have the celery configuration? In celery worker, right? So celery underscore worker dot celery, right? And after that, we will be writing worker with log level to be info. Okay. Run this command, and there is something. Okay, that's good. That's very good. Let's give it a try. Hmm. You can't even scroll. Oh. That's just something in the configuration. Save it. Do it a restart. And yeah, it is working, but there is something. So the result backend is replicated. Okay. Mhm. How will I go to config? Yeah. got it. So it's broker URL, result backend, and type. Save this and give a restart. Now you see that this is how we want to see our screen. Okay, this is how this is what we want. You can see, like, I cannot scroll the screen because my mouse is not working. But you can see that the transport is saying that it is using Redis localhost 6379/1. That is the database, Redis database. Okay. And with my system, I can do 8 jobs at a time. Concurrency to be 8. Okay. As of now, you can see, if you can spot it over here, task below task, we don't have anything. That is because celery task, like, we do not have any celery task with us as of now. It's very difficult to go through or to use my keyboard for, okay, what could be done. So over here in this file, like, I created a file named as tasks within the backend directory. In here, I would declare celery task. Okay. So from Salary worker and importing in its salary because of the variable. Okay, I can change the variable. But let's keep it in its salary. Okay. Next thing, what we will be doing is at the rate in its salary task. Okay, it's adequate. So I'm defining, for example, a very simple print hello wala task. Okay? I have to trigger it. How will I trigger it? Okay, I can trigger it. I go back to the terminal. Okay, over here, just I just want to say that as of now, my mouse is not working, so I have to restart my system, and if I have 10 minutes of work left to do. 10, I also 10, but 15 minutes of content that is to be saved. So, what do you guys want? Do I restart, jump back again, and finish off, or what do you want?
No, I'm good, Anjit. If you want to restart.
Okay, I really want to do it because I do not want to pull it for one more day. Okay, so you guys just hold on. I will just restart my system and join back. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, hi. So the situation worsened up. So my system got crashed, and it won't be coming up very quickly right now.
Okay.
So like a very bad situation. So what I want is 15 or 20 minutes of your time either today in a later hour or else tomorrow anytime. Okay, whenever it will be comfortable for you guys. So I
Uh,
just
Tomorrow morning would be fine, Anchit. Today,
okay. So tomorrow, fine. Either 9 a.m. or 9:30, whatever.
sure, sure.
9 is good, right? Hello.
Yeah,
I'm saying that 9 a.m. is good tomorrow. 9
yes,
a.m.
9 a.m. would be fine.
Yeah,
Is it
and it won't
possible to
be
schedule at
it won't
10?
be this long. Sorry.
Is it possible to schedule it at 10?
Yeah, of course, of course. You can go for 10. It would be like hardly it will be half an hour, not more than that.
Ajit, please add the day six repo in the repo.
Of
Once you
course, and as
type.
early as I could get my system running, I would be just doing that.
Okay, okay. And also the recording as well, because today recording is important, like in terms of setting the radiation and everything.
Yeah, I'd be doing that as early as I could fix my system. I would be just finishing that. I'm genuinely very sorry because I didn't know or how my like I don't know that the mouse button is not working all of a sudden, and next thing I restarted and it got crashed. Nothing, black screen. It
No,
won't come up again.
it's happened.
Yeah. Chalo, I'd say like have a good day as of now. We are calling it a day. And, let's meet tomorrow. If and go through everything as early as I could fix it. I would just post the repository or update the repository. Go through the code. If you find anything, or else if you are facing any error or any error for your app, if you are having any doubt or any confusion, be it for anything, be it for
Mm,
topic, be it for personally for your own project, just let's discuss it tomorrow and fix that up too. Why not? We are
sure.
meeting and we can do it. Yeah, of course. So, have a great day ahead and
Yeah. Thank
bye.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you. Bye.
thanks.
Thank you.